Hey guys, good morning. Hopefully we're streaming pretty successfully here. I think we are. Okay, hopefully everyone's doing really well today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are live and recording, so hopefully everyone's doing good. Let me know how you're feeling this morning through the chat. And let's talk a little bit about some things that we're going to be doing today. So, okay. Let me go ahead and make some adjustments here in the window. And then that way we can kind of take a look at what's going on. I want to share some really cool resources as well with you today too, for the next few minutes of class, so that we can kind of go through a few items, okay? All right. Okay, so a couple things, guys. First thing is first, today on our schedule, we're going to be, we're on day 4, which is Thursday, and we're entering into our design principles portion or unit of the class. And today we're actually going to be doing 2 things. We're going to be working together on the value-based exercise, or at least I'm going to do the exercise since we can finish that unit up for yesterday. And then after that, which is this exercise, I'll share that with you in just a few moments, and we'll do that together. And then after that, we're going to be viewing a film called Objectified. I'm going to supply you guys with a link, and we can watch it together, or you can watch it independently. And we're basically going to talk about the exercise, which is identifying objects or products that are designs and things that are styled. So it's going to be an interesting portion of it. This is something I do not go over typically in my night classes, just because we're trying to cover a little bit more ground in other areas. But I think it's helpful to understand design versus style, and so we're going to go over that in just a couple of moments and see how that goes. So there's our 2 objectives. Okay. I wanted to also take at least like quick, oh, and also today we're also going to be finishing class a little early. We're going to be finishing class about 11:30 or just before 11:30 today. I have a conflicting appointment that starts at 11:30, so I wanted to just let you know that we will be finishing about 11:30 today. And so I want to just cover as much ground as we can, because the documentary should take about an hour and 5 minutes roughly to watch. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll move forward with that. I'll hold off on resources and sharing those resources actually until next week. I'm going to make that, I'm going to pause on that in just a few moments. But right now, just a couple things based on yesterday that we'll review. Yesterday, we were talking a little bit about value price exercises, and just out of curiosity, how many of you guys like really, first of all, enjoyed that? Like, how many of you guys found that exercise helpful? Go ahead and give me a little thumbs up emoji if you found that helpful. I think that exercise was really helpful about value-based pricing because, well, let's ask you, why do you think, and share with me in the chat, why do you think this exercise is helpful for a graphic designer? I mean, most schools or teachers typically won't talk about this until the end of a student's path. But why do you think that discussing money is an important feature? Take about 2 or 3 minutes maybe to type that in the chat. And why do you think that value-based pricing is just discussing the fact that money is a factor in this world of graphic arts should be just something that we should just talk about, review, or maybe it's something we should not review. Maybe this is too early to discuss, and you feel like this is information that we shouldn't really be sharing until the end of a student's journey through college and getting educated in this world. But take a moment. You can make that public, but we'll see what you have there, okay? Okay, can give you guys about another 30 seconds there to type in the reply. And say we can review it. Okay, so I'll read some of the replies here. But yeah, I totally agree with everything here. Value and worth is so important, right? It's like I was saying yesterday, I think as designers, we get really attracted to the work that we do because it is kind of like well, first I'll preface this and say that I feel like most artists are introverts generally, and sort of like this world, right? But even though a majority of the work requires us to be, even though a majority of the work requires us to work independently, probably maybe 70, 80% of the time, there is the component which is understanding the clientele that comes in, right? And even historically, like even that statement, I have to be careful how I word that. The statement saying that most designers work independently, that's in the Industrial Revolution, right? Like in today's world, if you go back, to early turn of the century, or even back to the days where artists actually did all the work and the business, I don't know why I think about this, but Da Vinci, right? There's a really great autobiography on Leonardo Da Vinci. Da Vinci didn't have a boss, right? Da Vinci did his own business transactions and had to basically do the work, solve the problem, and also interact in his own transactions. Like it's really the idea of offsetting and giving it to someone else to do the business side is really like a early 1900, 20th century Industrial Revolution model where things became separated to just kind of run an efficient system or factory, right? That's really not at the heart of where it was originally. As artists, you interact and you work with people in their projects, and it requires an understanding of their work. And somehow the separation created this like I'm less than, or I don't have to take responsibility for the work, right? So as we move into like this new century, we have to remind new designers like you that even though there is that aspect of like the old school or the industrial model, which we'll kind of we're going to peep and look at today in our documentary, ultimately as designers, you will have at one point or another your own interaction with either an intermediary, which is like someone that is hiring you. I always like to say that when you work for somebody, you have a client. Technically, your client is the company that is paying you to solve a problem for them. So whether you have one big paying client, which is your quote job, the studio that you work for, or you have multiple clients that come to you and pay you, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 for projects. At the end of the day, you are operating your business and people are paying you to solve their problem. A job is just another version of a client. They're paying you as their client. They're your number one client or only client, but they're still your client, right? You're the business, they're your client, they're paying you to do the work. So even when you work at a job, you have to look at even the place that you work for, not as they're my boss, they're greater than me. No way. You got to look at it like you called me, you hired me, you're my client, I'm solving your problem, and you're going to pay me the agreed upon amount for this, and you're going to pay me per month or every 2 weeks this salary, and I'm going to do the work to solve your problem. But this is the problem that you're hiring me to solve. And once you solve it, or you find that you're successful at what you did, then it's time to go on and look for another client or a quote another job. Does that kind of make sense? It's a complete change in mindset. When I work at somewhere, they're not my boss, they're my client. And if they don't like the work that I do because they change their mind, then I look for another client because I know what I'm worth and I know my value, and I'm not going to tolerate anyone or anything, withstanding or interrupting my cash flow. Does that kind of make sense? So it's all like, even as I say this, like you can kind of see the firmness of it. You got to, this is how you should evolve in time the work that you do. I'm not expecting everyone to do it tomorrow or overnight or even within a month. This might take weeks, months, possibly even years. But you gotta keep that mindset. It's a shift in mindset, guys. Okay, and so yeah, value is teaching price, and the more you practice these negotiations, the better you get. Okay, so we'll go over that exercise in a minute and how that all flows. But for further resources on just like negotiation tactics and things of that sort, let me just briefly show you some resources that are on Canvas that I think that you guys should definitely take a look at this weekend if you want to explore more about the money side and understand and learn more about negotiation and how to talk about money. Inside our day 3 module under the activity, the value-based pricing activity, we're going to basically work on that exercise today. So we'll actually, and the link is here, okay? But right below that, there are extra resources and documents available that we can actually refer you to, okay? So the script is obviously there, and I made a copy of that. So the document is there that pretty much everyone made a copy of. But the other things that are here, I put is these links. So the future YouTube channel, I made a copy of specific links that are related to the business of design or the design of business. And so this playlist is pretty much a collection. It's a quick search within the site itself, but it's essentially a playlist of everything related to design and work, right? How to charge for your design, pricing design work. These are pretty much extensions of the conversation that we talked about yesterday. And so pricing design, how to raise your price, role playing, which is what we did yesterday. Hourly billing, stop trading for money. You're too expensive. How to raise your rate when someone says, I thought you were less expensive, like a quick 3-minute video. If this is an area that you find very interesting, or even remotely interesting, I totally recommend you guys to take a look at these videos. And since we have women in the class that are here, there are some really great resources where Chris is talking to female designers that have their own businesses, and he's mentoring them through the process. So these are some really great resources. I would actually say that predominantly these are the folks that he speaks to are women, Melinda, Lindsay. So since this is, since we have a lot of female entrepreneurs in the class, I really want to empower you ladies to definitely look at this playlist and zone in on those conversations that are speaking towards women and their businesses and their entrepreneurships and studios. I think you're going to get a lot of value for it. I think it's going to be a really, really good thing for you to check out. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys have that resource available for you. Okay. The other thing I want to direct you to in the second link is a podcast. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely a big fan of listening to podcasts, especially when I take long drives to work. And so the Slate's Negotiation Academy podcast is free. And this is actually a podcasters that took, I think at Columbia University, a business negotiation class. And they're about 15 to 16 minutes here and there. But they're about 10 episodes. And it basically is specifically focusing on negotiation. I listened to it and I thought it was really helpful, but they basically put the whole class from Columbia University's business negotiation class, their course, they broke it down into 10 episodes and gave the most important information that these podcasters learned. So for example, like episode 1 is who sets the price. Believe it or not, the first person to set the price is actually subconsciously locks in that price. So when you say the price first, something happens in the brain of the negotiators where they can't leave that number, right? So when you drop a price, then the goal is to like stay away from is to stay there. Like it's really interesting. They even have studies to back up that the first number will always be the number that stays in people's heads. So your job is to be the first one to drop the highest price, right? And so there's other things like schmoozing, how to befriend and get people to sort of open up to you and be comfortable with you. The art of persuasion, the ticking clock, dealing with jerks, closing the deal, the gender divide, which is a real thing, right? Do men take advantage of female negotiators, and what is it that we need to look out for? So hint, ladies, take a look at episode 7. Haggling over real estate. If you want to buy a house, how do you get tactical with housing prices, negotiating with kids, and your salary, how to raise it. This stuff is gold, guys, and it's for free. It's awesome. So I keep on coming back to this podcast every like couple of years or so, just to remind myself of the things I need to do, because we negotiate on a daily basis, every time, everywhere. And so that is something that we do all the time. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're looking at that. And there's even a negotiator as well, which is a master class actually. Chris Voss. I even put it in the. Let me pull it up for you here. I don't know if you've seen those commercials on YouTube where it's kind of like master class, and and like these famous people teach a class on their topics. There's a really great. He used to be a former FBI negotiator for hostage takeovers. His name is Chris Voss. On this site, Masterclass, it's like $200 a year, but this is for like the super serious folks that want to take negotiation. Chris actually, this is out of this whole site, this entire company that's like international, this class is the most popular class on the site. He pretty much teaches the art of negotiation, and you're learning from somebody that actually freed people from hostages, right? That used to work for the FBI. And so he teaches USC master's grad students like this stuff, right? So if USC, right, like a top-notch business school is hiring this guy to teach their negotiation classes in Southern California, I think I would want to learn something about this too, right? So definitely take a look at that as well. I think this is helpful. I'll drop it in the chat because I know that's not in the actual component. But, if you want to learn more about Chris Voss, I would recommend actually taking a look at his videos on YouTube. And I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I don't get any type of kickback. But I just do it because this is the stuff that I look at too. And I want to refer you guys to the best source of information. But, take a look at Chris even on YouTube. He has some classes on YouTube that are free that kind of like take some pieces of it. And it's great. It's really amazing stuff. Your life could literally change in a day if you actually think about life from a negotiation standpoint and actually talk to people as if you're negotiating. You'll be surprised how much more money you can make and how much more peace you can bring into your life just by talking to people differently, right? And I think that's the key. So hopefully you find this information helpful. If that's the case, give me a thumbs up. I would say that if I had to refer you to something that would be probably one of the most important things, I would say this unit and these links that I gave you are going to be like ultra important. Okay, so I want to make sure that you take a look at that. So on your free time, please look at this stuff. And if you're like whatever, at least listen to the podcast. Okay, it's like 15 minutes. So put that into your day. Okay. So just a quick review there. Going back to value-based pricing, because I want to make sure I honor everybody's time. The negotiation sheet is pretty much a cheat sheet too, right? Like I took like the best parts of those links that I just mentioned, put it into a piece of paper, keep this for life, print it out, hang it up on your wall. It's very helpful, right? hey, I mean, try to negotiate with somebody in your house, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a design. Try chores, try tactics. Try it in your house, right? So if somebody's asking you to do something, it's like, hey, why me? Why me? Why not? Why this? Okay. You want me to take the trash out? Why me? Why now? Why do you think we want me to do this? Right? I mean, it could be as simple as that, right? My wife's like, no. No. Wait, this is getting interesting. Wait, why me? Why now? Why should I take out the trash always, Vanessa? I mean, couldn't we hire, why hire the most expensive option to take out the trash? I'm in trouble. Anyways, okay, it's powerful. I'm just saying, because I'm already getting in trouble for the power that I'm bringing you guys. So, hang it up, try it out, have some fun with it. Don't get in trouble, obviously, but give it a go, and then share your stories with me. I always get excited for anything that you do. So you can drop me an email, say, hey, professor, check it out. I tried it out this weekend. It worked. And I'm always excited, even with the littlest things that you accomplish. Okay, so let's go back to this exercise as well, the coffee shop owner exercise. So just a quick recap, right? Anytime anyone comes to you to price, you want to size them up. You want to literally see how much they're worth, based on their assets, based on what they own, based on where they work, based on everything. Okay, and so we did this exercise, and we kind of basically pretended that we were a certain type of buyer. And we had to determine, is Victor a price buyer, know-it-all, indecisive, or a value buyer? So we had a little bit of fun yesterday doing that, right? So that was a fun exercise. What we're going to do now is that we're going to go over the calculations, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on value-based exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into the chat, and we're going to literally do this together, so that we have, and we're going to do this for the next 30 minutes. So that we can do the exercise, turn it in, get some points for yesterday, and then watch the documentary. And then refer you guys, and then we'll come back to basically do the exercise on value versus value-based pricing, or excuse me, style versus design. So let's make a copy, value-based, and I'm already getting notifications that you guys are making copies and setting it up, so that should be good. So here is the link. Feel free to make a quick copy of that. And we'll walk you through that exercise together. It'll also be interactive as well. Okay, and so, okay. And we have a few folks that are logging in, so great. Thank you guys for making that copy. We're going to do a little bit more of that today, so take a couple moments. If you've already made a copy, go ahead and you can give me a little thumbs up emoji for that. And then that way we can kind of move forward from there. Okay, great. And if you're still making a copy, let me know. That way I can wait for you, so we can do it together and kind of go through the calculations and things like that, okay? Okay. All right, very cool. So while we're doing that, let's go ahead and do this exercise together, okay? So here's the breakdown, okay? Now, everything in red, we're gonna punch in, and we're gonna kind of pull it from yesterday's exercise and see where that goes. So, again, the scenario is that the idea is that every time I talk to a client, there's two types of people that come to me. The ones that have a business at a place, an actual leased out place of business, which normally to me means they're worth thousands of dollars, potentially the low thousands as a potential. And then there's also people that come to me and they don't have a place of business. They have their own small business and they're in person. We're going to do that as well. I'm going to give you the home business, the people that have a business at home, and we're gonna do the people that have a business at a place. Okay, I will say that that most of the time starting out, you'll probably have people that come to you that have businesses at home, which is a little dicey because it kind of they try to work, it's more in the hundreds, to be honest, or the high hundreds I go for. And then the folks that have places of business, I hit them with the high thousands. So that's kind of like the rule for me. It's like, if you're a place of business, you can afford a few $1,000s to do this. And if not, bye, like on to the next. And then for people that have their own business at home, you know, it gets a little bit trickier because, you know, they want to do it for $10, typically any project. And so you're like, no, like if you have a place of business, you're worth hundreds of dollars to me. And so you can pay hundreds of dollars. And if not, bye, next, on to the next. And again, it's nothing bad. It's just business. You're basically setting yourself up for success, right? And you want to make sure you're getting paid the most from the best clients, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and break this down. Okay, now, like we said, let's do this together. And based on the calculations we made, how much rent do we remember Victor was making on his coffee shop? So this is interactive, okay? You can type it in the chat really quick or you can voice it in. But how much was the rent? We did a quick search for rent in Whittier. So how much was the monthly rent roughly? Typically when it comes to rent, okay? Good, Myra, 2K. So after COVID, it looks like the price has dropped, but more or less, so it's about $2,000 per month. They don't say per month. They basically say like $20 a square foot. They tell you the square footage, 800 square feet, 1,000 square feet, $20 a square foot for the whole year, 12, you know, it's like $20,000. You have to divide that there. You basically can calculate that, okay? So we know off the get-go that they're at least clearing minimum $2,000 for rent if they have it. So we know they're worth that much from the rent, but it doesn't stop there. How much money, if you see an employee, okay, themselves, right, and another employee, they're paying themselves, right, because they have to make a living, and they're paying someone else. So let's just say they have one employee. So what's the current minimum wage rate right now, guys? At this level, what's the minimum wage in California for those folks that may be working minimum right now? What is that? It's like $15 an hour, or did it go up? 13? It's 13 bucks an hour? Okay. Let's take a look. 14 on January 1st, 2021. Okay. So Jolene, get a raise. If they're paying you 13, they need to be 25 or fewer employees. Okay. So this is an important note. Yes, a company with 25 or fewer employees can pay 13 bucks on the hour. So Jolene, if there's more than 25 people working in wherever you worked, you got to be like, hey, you owe me $1. So because 25 people or more is 14. So 26 actually, it says here, $14 or more with 26 employees or more. And if it's 25 and under, it's 13. So that's good to know. So 13 bucks on the hour. Okay, so we're gonna put in here under X, 13 bucks. $13 per hour. And we said 40 hours a week, right? What's 40 hours? That's Monday through Friday. If they open at 9 o'clock in the morning, close at 5, that's 8 hours a day, right? 8 Monday, 8 Tuesday, 8 hours Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 8 times 5 days, 40 hours. Okay, so, but most of the time coffee shops are open 7 days a week. We're just gonna be conservative and say that this person works full-time 5 days out of the week and the owner only works on weekends. So let's just say that, okay? So what's 13 times 40? I'm gonna pull out the calculator because math is not my strong suit. So $13 an hour times 40 hours a week is $520 per day, right? Not including taxes, but we're not gonna worry about taxes. And how many weeks in a month? 4 weeks on average, unless you have January or I think July, which is 5 weeks. So you make more money on January and July for those folks that get paid weekly or bi-weekly. So $520 times 4 weeks is $2,080 per employee for that one employee. Okay, so that's about $4,000 right there. We know that Victor's clearing just by having an employee and paying for the rent at that place. So he's got a clear 4,000. Okay, but we also want to calculate the profit, right? Like for coffee. So let's take a look. What's the average number of customers? Average customers for coffee shop. Oh wow, check this out. How much do coffee shops make? And from the startmycoffeeshop.com. Okay, it looks like here, let's zoom in. Okay, most coffee shops sell 200, this is from January 2021. Most coffee shops sell 230 cups per day based on the assumption that most people drink 3 cups per day. It is safe to assume that 76 people come through a coffee shop on an average day of service. On average, 476 patrons purchase items from a coffee shop per week. That's nuts. So patrons meaning like they come back regularly, and 76 means like the regulars and possibly new people. So we have safe to assume that 76 people come through a coffee shop on an average day. That's not 76 people. Okay, all right. So let's use that as the average. Okay. So 76 people per day times 7 days a week is 532 customers a week. And let's just say a cup of coffee is, well, let's see. Anyway, what's the average cup? Well, let's see. Let's ask, what's the average cup of coffee? Average price for coffee. Average coffee price. Quick and full service. The average price consumers are paying for a cup of coffee across all restaurants, quick and full service, is about $2.99. At gourmet coffee shops is about $4.24. Oh, that's right, Talia, you worked at a coffee shop. So, Talia, maybe we can tap into you. 76 customers a day. Oh, you're still there. Is that about right? Does that sound about right? Over at, you work at La Monarca, right? No, I'm not sorry, not La Monarca. Which company was it again? Or Tierra Mira. Okay. So at Tierra Mira, is that sound about right? 76 cups of coffee per day, roughly? Or 76 customers here and there on average, maybe less? And you can voice it in too if you want to, like, just to save you a little bit on time. It's just a quick rundown.
So like usually they have like, I want to say over 100 customers per day.
100
but it's
per
because
day.
they're a bit more well known. Like they do have multiple locations, and like average per shift is about like, because I would ask like the supervisors and stuff, and I would be like, oh, how much did we make in our till like today? And roughly it's about like, I think on a good day it's like 2,000.
Wow.
And on like slow days it's like 1,300. Yeah,
Man,
but that's just for a 6-hour shift.
that's nuts. So
Yeah.
so 1,600 on a slow day, 2,000 on a good day, and that's a relatively well known. So you guys would fall under like a gourmet sort of shop that's relatively well known here and there. And how much
Yeah.
was the coffee on average that you guys would make? Is it like $4, $5, $3? I know you said 3 for black, but for like,
Yeah. So for like a pour over, like a special reserve, that one was about the same price. And then for like anything else, like an Americano or like something special like a latte, those ones would generally go up to like $3 or $4. But then when it got like flavored, that's when it was like $4 to $5.
Okay, so that sounds about right according to this calculation, like 424 average roughly.
Yeah.
So wow, okay. So if they ever ask you for design, Talia, you're about to know how much, you know exactly what you need to charge for this for them to pay for your design services. Like,
Unfortunately, I don't work for Tierra Mia anymore. It's just a different coffee shop.
okay, well, you know that if they ever say, if they ever come to you, you're gonna charge a lot of money for them to hire you to do graphic design work. Okay, because now
Yeah.
now you know what they're worth practically, or about to know what they're worth. So well, thank you for sharing. Let me go ahead and finish up the calculation here. So 532 customers a week, and we heard it from Talia that sounds about right. And $5 a coffee average there. Let's just put $4. Why don't we put just 4 right now? You can say 5, but I'll just say 4. So 532 customers per week times $4 an average cup of coffee is $2,128. Profit, let's say, per week, actually. Well, no, that yeah, I mean, it's different. It's like per day roughly. So this is just average. So we're looking at 76 customers a day times a week. So 2,000. We know it's higher, but we'll just say like a slower coffee shop. So yeah, $2,200. So 532, $4 a coffee shop, $2,000 a week times 4 weeks in a month equals $8,512 there. So we take those numbers and we add them up. So $8,512 of coffee sold per month by the coffee shop owner. They pay the employee $2,080 per month, and the rent is worth $2,000. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Victor needs to at least clear $12,592 a month just to make this thing work. Okay, coffee shops make serious bucks. Okay, we think it's cheap because the coffee is cheap, but we're not thinking about the number of people that walk in through a store, right? So that's crazy, being a gourmet small coffee shop, right? Like, dang, that's crazy. So makes me want to open up a coffee shop. I mean, it's so easy. Let me get here. So $12,592. So that means that we're going to take that number. Okay, so I'll just copy and paste this number. Okay, we're going to take $12,592. All right, we're going to put that here on slide number 4. And we're just going to go really high on this, right? Times are tough, COVID situation. Like, I'm not, we're going to put 20% because, and you could say multiple reasons, inflation, I know you're suffering in the business. You're probably are a value buyer at this point because nobody's buying coffee. So you're going to need to do something, not necessarily desperate, but you're going to have to make some serious changes in order for your business to survive. So we're probably talking to somebody that is more value driven and is like in serious need of a change based on the COVID impact. So $12,592 at 20% equals $2,518.40 that you can charge potentially for that job. Okay, that is the value of the job. That is the value of the project. Whether it's a logo or an advertisement, you don't go below that number. Okay, and if you decide to, I would recommend nothing below 15%. So if you're like, come on, professor, like 20%, that's crazy high, then don't go anything below 15%, which is $1,800. Okay, $1,888 based on my calculation here. Okay, so $1,800, right, or $2,500, but that is your range. Okay, that you will charge Victor for that amount. Does that make sense, guys? So this is how you have to think about it every time you talk to someone in this world of design. Okay, so every time I talk to a business owner, then I perk up because I go, oh, do you have a place of business at a location? Oh, I do. Cha-ching. I'm already thinking like this person is probably at least clearing 2K or more. Excuse me. And I could get that much for them or more. Okay. So there's that component. Okay. If you have that filled in, give me a little thumbs up emoji so we can move on to a slightly more complicated thing. So hopefully I can get it done within the next 10 minutes or so. But now you know the calculation and the cost there, okay? And you could do, again, you could do this for any type of business, right? If it's a clothing line or this or that, I can calculate rent, right? I can calculate rent, I can calculate anything based on location, which is great. And everything is is searchable on Google. So I can take a look at, I can Google average cost of things that they're selling or products to kind of calculate that. Or the easiest way too, if it's a larger business and maybe you don't understand like the pricing of their products, then try to figure out how many employees are in the company and then calculate how much they're paying minimum wage, right? So, you know, 14 bucks an hour, or if you know the salary of people, calculate their salaries times the number of people in a business, you know how much, based on the employees, how much the company is clearing because they have to pay the employees. Otherwise, they get sued for not paying what they agreed upon. So one way or the other, you can calculate just by walking into a place of business and looking at employees and just seeing how much they clear, and looking at the rent and know those calculations. And this works even for job interviews. If you go for a job interview, you can calculate how much the money makes by just asking the simple question in your interview: how many employees work here? Oh, we have like 76 employees. Oh, okay. So I know you're clearing a few million. And so you can pay me 100K or more, right? And they're like, oh, well, you know, and then they know that once you have that power and you have that information, nothing can stop you. So that's some powerful stuff to have. And I just want to empower you guys so that you don't get taken advantage of. Okay. Okay, let's do this together on Online Fitness Coach. Okay, now this is a real person. Okay, Joy is a friend of mine. I did some of her work, and we exchange services. Okay, so Joy actually like helped me do like some high value workouts and to get in person, and I did like a logo design for her. Right. So we're just gonna calculate an advertisement. So Joyful Fitness is an online fitness coach in La Mirada. She does all her businesses at home, and she's going for online training classes. Okay, she wants to charge 50 bucks a class per class for her training, right? So online training classes are 50 bucks, and she needs an ad to like put out on Facebook, right? She has a 10-person, she has 10 people as clients that come to her house. So they work out, in the garage with the door open and everything to make it safe for COVID. And she has about 1,000 followers on Instagram, but wants to gain more customers. Now, Joy wants to hire you to make a quick little Facebook or Instagram ad. So how much do you charge Joy? So the question is that she's at home, right? And you could technically say, she has a mortgage and you can calculate how, mortgages and stuff. But if she's married, which she is, then, you could kind of calculate how much she's clearing for the mortgage, but that's not enough technically. I want to know specifically like how much she's clearing in the business and what the business is worth, and see where that goes. So here's the breakdown. Okay, we're going to go to slide number 6. How many clients does Joy train per month on average, and how much do they pay for training? Okay, so we'll ask the question. Anybody out there in our class do training or have ever done training? How much did you pay per class for a training? If you've ever done it, you can type it in the chat. I'll Google it just to kind of see, and we'll see how much is that. So average cost for physical trainer. Okay. It says here the national average cost of personal training is $40 to $70 per hour session, with most paying $55. For gyms like LA Fitness or Gold's Gym, rates are 60 bucks an hour, and group training is 35 bucks per class. Discounts are available when purchasing, so on and so forth. This is 2021 personal training cost average calculator. So average price for physical training, that's the search term. So if you want to know how much something costs for anyone that comes to you, just do a search for average price for whatever it is, coffee, average price for, you know, long distance runner. You'll be surprised what that simple term average price for, how much Google can generate information on that. So we'll say 55 bucks a session, 50 bucks a session, let's say. Okay, so now 50 bucks per session. How many sessions per month does she have there? Let's just assume that they're once a week. Training is once a week to do that. Sounds about right. Come back every week, do your training, so on and so forth. So that's 4 classes. So 50 clients at 50 bucks a week. Okay, times it's four weeks in a month. So 50 times 4 weeks in a month is 200 bucks. So $200 per month. Okay, so that means that $200 a month per client times 10 clients. We know so far Joy is clearing $2,000 for those 10 clients. Okay, now is this making sense so far? Like if it does, give me a thumbs up emoji. All I did was, hey, you know, at least 50 bucks a class, right? Once a week, you know, per person. And I just times that by 4 weeks, times that by 10 people. Okay, so very simple math. It's 6th grade math. Business is nothing more than 6th grade math, to be honest with you. So if you got through the 6th grade, you can do the business. All right, so let's see. National client, 5 clients at so 10 clients at 200 bucks a month. 5 net clients, new clients there. Okay, so we'll actually get that because I'm actually already 5 NT net clients. Oh yeah, the internet. Excuse me. All right. So now Joy wants to do online classes, right? So now that she wants to do online classes, she might have some customers doing her online courses, okay, because she has an Instagram following. So we'll just assume that 1,000 followers on Instagram. There's something on web or Instagram or social media called conversions. And so when the definition of a conversion is like someone that goes from one thing to another, right? So when you do social media, there's the goal for people that do like Instagram businesses is that they want to convert from like people that just watch the post to people that actually click and buy. So that's called a cost for conversion. So we're going to calculate average conversion rate for Instagram ads. Okay, this is known as online marketing. Okay, what does that mean? That means when they converted from Instagram to actually clicking to a website, right, or going to your little paid mobile site, wherever it is, if it's 1,000 or more, what's the percentage of conversion? The average conversion rate is 3%. Okay, similar to engagement, conversion rates will vary based on a number of things in your industry, but the average conversion overall of all the industries is 3%. That means that if you take 1,000 followers and times that by 0.03%, it's 30 people. Okay, so we're gonna assume that about 30 people converted. So we're gonna type in, I'm actually gonna do a quick conversion here, that it's 30 internet clients that have converted and they're paying 50 bucks a class for her internet class, okay? And we'll just say that they're paying 50 bucks one time for that online class. So more online classes at 50 bucks. So we'll probably say that it's not per class, but more of a training, because that sounds about reasonable, right? 30 new clients for a $50 training program, right? Because it's videos, right? So that sounds about right. And I think she has done it. So 30 times 50 bucks for the whole program, for those people that just want to do it online, we know that Joy is clearing $1,500 on top of her 10 clients that she trains in person per month. So far she's making $3,500 if she's doing her business correct. Okay. So, oh, excuse me. And I even put the cost for conversion here as well. So I actually already did that. So we can put in under the red 1,000 followers. I put 5%, so we'll put in 0.03% or 0.03. And we said that was $50. And we already did that cost conversion. Actually, we already did that calculation there. So that's 50 customers. So we'll delete that and put in 50 customers. Okay, so 1,000 followers is 50 customers at $50 for that class. So how many people per average visit Joy's website and converts to a purchase? We already said that. So 2,000 net clientele is $1,500 a month. How many people per average visit Joy's website based on that conversion? Anything else that I'm missing here? I might be missing something there. So she has 10 in-person potential there and 300,000. Yeah, so I know I had a bigger number, but that's probably because we were taking internet conversions as well. So 1,000 followers at 0.3, 50 customers, added that. New clientele, 5 new clients per month. Well, yeah, she might have new clients per month, but these are the average clientele that she has per month that do the single ones. Oh, I know what it was. If she has 10 regular clients, how many new clients does she have per month that do like single workout sessions? That could be 3 or 5. We'll just work with the current number that we have here. So overall, based on our calculations, she is making at least $3,500 per month for her online, for her in-person, and for her online clientele. So like new customers that are online, her current clientele. Yes, she might potentially have conversion rate. She might potentially have new customers here and there, but right now we know that she's clearing at least $3,500. So we'll put that here. Okay, $3,500, 20% design fee. That is $700 just to do a job for Joy. Now, again, what if do you want to do 15%? Maybe you really like Joy. Maybe she wants to hook you up and give you some workout and this and that. You can do that. You can barter. You can say, you know what? I'll charge you 15% and you can give me some classes. You can negotiate that way. That's why we want to learn the negotiation skills first before doing the business calculation side. So you could technically charge $525 at 15% and work out a deal and say, hey, Joy, you know what? I'll charge you 15% my design rate. I'll give you a 5% discount, but how about some free classes, right? And give me some free workout classes. That way I can experience your world, your brand, and put that into the design. Yeah, great, absolutely. So you could do that. That can fall under research. And as you do research for your company, you can actually have them comp you like a class or a service for research, right? You know, you could even do that for coffee. Hey, give me like a year's worth, a lifetime supply of coffee for free. Give me a card that says lifetime free customer, free coffee for life customer, because you know how much it's worth. You know how many times, like, yeah, of course, you know how many, you know what the coffee's worth to the customer, but imagine how much money you'll save if you actually like got a free coffee for life card for a company that you, so this is negotiation, right? Like you can actually like work some things out if you get it on paper and get it under a contract and signed off to make things work, which leads me to the end of this exercise. and one last resource that I want to give you guys before we move on to the film. Okay. All right. So did we get this done? Did everyone fill in all the numbers and get that going and plug that in there? Okay. And was this helpful? Okay. Maybe you can give me a little explosion or a little bit, party emoji. If you found this to be really helpful, give me a little party explosion emoji or something like that. Because this is some powerful stuff. I'm literally showing you guys how you can calculate just based on what you see and not what people say. Okay, because people will always say that they make less just so that they can charge, so that you could charge them less. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. Okay, when I worked at Loungefly, I noticed that my boss, whenever the factories in China came over, he never told them how much he was making off the bags, right? Because then the factory could always charge more per bag, right? Which these bags cost like $4 to make, and you guys are paying $60 in America to pay for like a fancy Disney bag. It's like $4, $5 to make, right? Now, if the factory knew how much money we were making as a company, you don't think they would raise the price up by $2 or $3? Of course they would, right? They're the factory. They can charge whatever they want. If they know how much you're making, right? That's great. And if they actually had somebody like your teacher that did a little bit of research, I mean, if I was a business and I was making product and I was a factory in China, I would tell at least my best research student, do me a favor, check out how much this company is selling their products online and give me a cost per sale calculation in America. Do you know how scary that would be for every company if I stepped into their offices? You don't want me to come in because I could size up the cost in no time. As a matter of fact, if you guys ever need that help, just call me. Hey, Mr. A, I don't know how much to charge. Give me the website. Oh, this is how much money they're making. I know I'm going off on a rant, but this stuff is powerful, guys. Research is powerful stuff. Okay. All right. As you can tell, I get pretty passionate about this. All right. So it's done. Takes tomorrow when you have time, turn it in. Okay. Which leads me to the last thing before we go to the film is the contracts. Okay. In the activity, right? The site where you turn in your activity. Let me go to student view. I actually give you a copy of the contract. Okay. Contracts are super important. Don't get ripped off. I got ripped off. Long story short, I did a bag design for a company that wanted to sell it to a high-priced Beverly Hills shop called Kitson that sells fashion for high retail prices. We negotiated like $1,000, $1,200. I was stupid. I didn't take the person's word. I thought his word was good because we were both young people, and we're both hustlers, and we're trying to make a buck, make $1 out of 15 cents, right? And in the end, we verbally agreed, and then later he said that work is not worth $1,000. We made a deal, you said it, and in the email he said we never signed a contract, and I was like, wow, that sucks. That royally sucks. And I actually didn't say sucks. I said more stuff you can't say online or on TV, but I was pissed. Let's just say it that way, because I put in, time, energy, and work, and this person said pulled that stunt, right? So it is a contract, and actually, why isn't the contract here? Ooh, let me give you that. There's no bueno. I gave the invoice calculator. So I'll give you the contract in just a couple of seconds, but this is an invoice calculator. Basically, it's a fancy word for receipt. So when the time comes for you to send a receipt for the work, then you fill in your name, the company's information, and under description, Instagram ad and the price that goes into it, right? So if it was $1,500, right? Then it will basically be $1,500 for the ad, let's say. Taxes, yeah, it'll count, and it'll indicate what the tax is based on the location of the address, and then you can print the invoice and email it over to them, or if you sign up for the accounts, you can email it or download it and keep a record and put up your logo. So this is a fancy receipt calculator, which is great. And let me go ahead and give you the contract as well. And then that way you can have a copy as well. How to close the deal. Standard design and development contract. And I know I gave it to the class last year and then get you going. Okay. Here it is, design and development contract final. Okay. And here's basically what this contract is that it is a copy of a invoice, and everywhere where it's in parentheses, you would put your name, your company name. And whereas in brackets, client name, you would put the company name or the client name. But basically, in like the quick version is that this is all the things to protect you for when you turn in the work and what's at stake. Okay. You know, we're not necessarily an entrepreneurship class, otherwise we can go in deep with it. But if you want to make an appointment and talk further about it, we can. And maybe I can make like a little video related to it. Like it could be like a bonus video that you can watch if you want to. But basically, it's a contract that states the deliverables. So in red, you put in the work that you did and the pricing. And I say 50, half up now, half up later. So my philosophy is that if they agree, you make a copy of this, you fill out this paperwork, and you email it or share them the link with the pricing on it. And I say, I want half up front before we start anything. So that way, if they run away later, you at least have, you know, $1,000 if it's a $2,000 job, or $450 if it's a $700 job, but you have money already available to you. Okay. So here's the contract document, and you can make a copy of that, but this will protect you from people that try to get weird and try to rip you off. Okay. And then you basically say, please send this invoice. And then I also say, I give you the link to that invoice generator, which you just saw a couple of seconds ago. And that's what I do. I basically have them, you know, print it out, scan it, take a picture of it on their phone, send it back to me. You could even attach like a DocuSign or a tool to have them sign on it. But at the end of the day, I make sure that they sign it and that it has the information of the company there and the name of the person as well for the contract. Okay, so it basically protects you. It makes sure that you don't pay for any type of legality issues. It also says that they got to pay within 3 days the money. Okay, once you send it, they got to pay in 3 days. If they don't, then they're in default. Take them to court. That's why I say half up. Half up now, and when I deliver your files and give you the files, I deliver the invoice at the same day, and I say, okay, 3 days. You have 3 days to pay this invoice. Okay, and that way they can go into it. So it protects you, makes things super clear, and if they're not serious and they see a contract, they run away. Okay, either way you win, because they say, oh, this is somebody I can't play games with. And that should be the case. Okay, but it all comes back to negotiation. You know, learn the negotiation skills, do those practice, listen to the podcast, watch the videos, you know, do as much practice on smaller things, and then work your way up. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so that's the assignment. We're good. Any questions up to this point regarding value-based pricing? Because we're gonna close this unit. Okay, it's not forever. If you have additional questions or issues, you're more than welcome to talk to me or email me. But if you have a question, you can unmute your mic, shoot away right now. No question is too dumb or too small. And it can be about anything and everything related to any of this content. So you can type it in right now, but shoot it out as I get ready for the next link there. Okay, we got the video, we got everything here for you. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and prepare the next file and set you guys up. Okay, we'll talk about 99 later. We'll talk about the YouTube stuff. Okay, contracts, design versus style, value-based pricing. and the 4 types of buyers and clientele and make a copy, average conversion. Okay, cool. All right, good. I feel like I'm an amazing teacher. No questions. Okay. All right. That's cool, guys. It sounds like we're doing well. Okay, so next step is we are going to watch a film, okay, called Objectified, okay? And has anyone ever heard of this film, Objectified, or seen the film at one point or another? If you have, maybe you can type it in the chat or little thumbs up emoji, things of that sort. Okay. Perfect. Okay, we're all new to it. It's a really cool film. Basically, it's an hour and 16 minutes. So we will probably have to come back to the exercise on Monday and set you up. So I'll actually give you guys I'll actually refer you guys to the questionnaire instead with design versus style. Yeah, we'll do the questionnaire and I'll post that up right now. Or things that versus design, things that are style. Trying to think here if I wanted to do one thing versus another based on the time frames that we have. I'll post it up and I'll post the questions. They're like, it's basically a questionnaire that talks a little bit about the film, so that we'll kind of watch that. And then we'll give everybody a link for that as well too, so then that way we can watch it. But let me just go ahead and kind of preface it a little bit. This is a documentary. The Objectified film is a documentary about the relationship between like things and the people who design them. Okay, and so there's a lot of different videos out there that talk about like graphic design from a typographic standpoint. But, you know, Massimo Vignelli, who was a famous graphic designer, said it best, where he says, if you can design one thing, you can design many things. And so the process of this film is actually, they're talking about like products, like how designers design products. There's 2 reasons why I want to show you this film. One, it opens up the conversation about something that is designed versus something that is decorated, right? When we design something, it should be about the function, how it works graphically, how it works physically. Now, to make the connection from like how it works graphically, I always start with physical objects as sort of like the entry, because it's easier to understand how people design things, because we've all designed and made things in one way, shape, or form. But this film is great because I really want you guys to focus in on how they talk about their projects and how they think about the work that they do. It's very meaningful. It's very in-depth and critical thinking. They put a lot of thought behind the smallest details and how things work in its function. We see designers that design toothbrushes. We see designers that design iPhones. We'll hear from designers that basically talk about like the environment and how we need to be making things that are sustainable. It's really about personal expression. It's about identity in oneself even as North American or as a Western country, as America. It's about consumerism, about how people relate to stuff that they buy. And it's really about topics that we're talking about, which is like, how do we become sustainable? So it actually opens up like a lot of the issues and the conversations that designers kind of confront that they never talk about, or we never like get a chance to talk about them. So as you watch it, really like listen to how they're talking and how they're thinking about things in a meaningful level, and really think about also like how they're approaching their work and their design, because it's almost the same when you design graphics. Okay, it's with the same level of thought and meaning than anything else. Some of these folks actually started in graphic design and moved into physical products, but they use their graphic design knowledge and their critical thinking knowledge that they've acquired, and they threw it into objects, but they're the same tools, the same skill sets of solving a problem. So whether it's a toothbrush or it's a poster or a magazine or a logo, it's the same process. Does that make sense? It's all the same, okay? So I'm going to, I'll post up the activity in about 10 minutes. But basically what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna give you the link. And if you guys can tell me that you can open it and play it, that would be great. And we're gonna make that assignment, the questionnaire, and I'll post that in about 10 minutes about the documentary, okay? But can you click it, open it, and basically push play, jump, you know, to like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes here and there. Ooh, it better play. Oh no. I think it only plays once. Okay, don't yeah, don't reload it. Okay, cool. Okay, so it should work. Okay, anyone out there not seeing it or having a hard time not seeing it, please let me know. Okay, but basically what we're gonna do is that we're gonna watch that for an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to still be online to post up the activity, but I'll be leaving in about 1 hour in case there's any issues or concerns, and we'll finish off the class for today, okay? The questionnaire is basically a standard question format Word document, so you can basically answer those questions about the film, and it'll be posted within about 10 minutes there, okay? But we're gonna watch it. I just found it. It's great that it's free, and so it's very helpful. But definitely take a watch, and I'll watch a little bit of this once I post as well. But it's going to be really, really helpful overall. Okay, is this making sense? And everyone knows where we're going with the overall expectation and assignments and everything of that sort. If you do, you can give me a little thumbs up emoji, and we're all set there. Okay. All right. Okay. Very cool. All right, guys. So then go ahead and if you don't have to be online to watch it. You can basically log out of the live session, but I will be online for at least another hour doing paperwork and grading. So if you are, if you want to share your activity that we just did right now for value-based pricing and post it up, go for it. I'll put that in there into the link. And there's a discussion today too. There's a short video for discussion, but you can do that today or after the film is done, since we'll have plenty of time. Okay. All right. All right, guys, enjoy the film. And then I will post up in about 10 minutes the questions for the film on Canvas, and you can answer them. And then we'll have a brief discussion when we return on Monday. So please remember, there is no class tomorrow. Okay, it's Friday. We do not meet on Fridays. So there will be no class, but you will have assignments due on Fridays. So if you need time to work on them, please use tomorrow morning to work on your assignments and catch up if necessary. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, enjoy. All right, you guys are officially dismissed, and we will see you on Monday at 9 a.m. and enjoy the film. Okay, we'll see you then.
I have a quick question regarding Photoshop.
Yes, Francesca, what's up?
So I don't know why, but I'm having like a ton of trouble downloading Photoshop, and I don't know if it's like my computer or if it's like Creative Cloud itself, but like I cannot download Photoshop.
Sure. Let's do this. Let me go ahead and we'll see what you see on screen, but if you could share your screen with which I believe is the Adobe Cloud Launcher, we'll take a look at that. And so let me go ahead and stop my share here for a second. And I'm going to also refer you there. Let me go ahead and stop the recording too on the install, and then we'll be all set, ready to go. And we'll go also to like actually, yeah, let's stop here.